Okay. Well, shall we begin? This is no clip part 2. Okay. What's this one called? This is rewriting history. So this is when Yoshi P has come in and he's like, right, we're going to fix things. We're going to fix things. Okay. Right, and tell me, 3 hours later. Yep. Tell me if you can hear it okay. And if you can hear me over it.
So what did you think from your perspective as CFO to fix this problem?
All good?
It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to involve creating a new game. It's going to involve keeping the other game still running. Did you think at that time that that was a solid investment, that that's what Square Enix should be doing, or did you think that it was a risky venture?
単純にそこだけ見るとね、すごくリスクの高い話に多分一般的には多分なるというふうに思うんですけれども、さすがに当社はね、ナンバリングタイトルでフラッグシップのタイトルで MMO これだけのタイトルなわけですから。
They are the biggest games, right? I'm pretty sure Final Fantasies are Square's biggest games. Surely. I'm trying to think of any other big titles. I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy is the flagship for Square. More than Dragon Quest. Yeah.
それがこのままサービスが頓挫してしまうというのは、これ非常に将来的にまずいと。これはやっぱり経営上これ非常に大きなダメージを与えるということで、再度作り直しと並行してやるということの投資に関しては、これははっきり言ってやっぱりやるべきっていうか、やらざるを得ないというふうな判断でしたね。ものすごい財務的なリスクがものすごく大きかったですけどね。
Final Fantasy is probably the biggest title of Square, even counting Kingdom. Oh, I've never played Kingdom Hearts. I told you that. It's been around since the 80s. I need to play Kingdom Hearts. Oh my god.
Hello and welcome back to our series on the fall and rise of Final Fantasy XIV Online. We rejoin Yoshida-san and the team at Square Enix at the start of a long adventure, and with players leaving en masse and the clock ticking, it was time for them to formulate a plan. But how exactly do you rebuild an MMO while people are still playing it?
Yoshida-san set his eyes on a 2013 launch date for the new version of 14, as he wanted to have the game out for fans within the PlayStation 3's lifecycle. But to do this while still patching 1.0, he would have to create an entirely new MMO in less than half the time.
That's so insane. That is so insane that they had to do that at the same time. Oh my god, what happened then? Oh, chat spazzed out. They're so crazy that they're having to split into two and do two separate things at the same time. Though I guess maintaining one wasn't as taxing.
Of most conservative estimates. So before we get into specifics of what exactly was changed, I wanted to know how
oh my god, I
he
hate
did
that
it.
place.
So for a moment, we step away from game design and dive into a critically important aspect of video games development that we rarely talk about: project management.
Designing an MMO I just imagine the timeline for something like this is at least 5 years for anything. And you're being asked to do it in less than half of that probably. When you're designing games, when we talk to people, so much of it is iterative, that you create something and then you refine it and you brush it and then you look at it again, but you didn't have that luxury.
Sorry, I've got a question. Did people know? Did you guys know that this was coming? Or was this a secret? Was this like a top secret project that they slowly come out? Or was you big at the start, yeah, we're redoing everything? Or was this like a slow build? Secret, that's even cooler. That makes it even better.
To make sure that the version of A Realm Reborn that
Wait, hold on. Okay, don't tell me. But I'm going to think it's really cool if all of a sudden this meteor keeps getting closer and closer and nobody knows about it.
that date was cool. The final package. So did that change the way that you had to set up the team and the way your workflow kind of went?
MMORPG の開発に5年が普通だっていうのはもうちょっと強く言っといてください。
That's genius if that's what they do.
まずそのスケジュールトラブルを起こさないためのそのマネジメントの工夫としてはなんだろうな、言い方がちょっと難しいんですけど、ものすごく腕のいい、特に100人に1人ぐらいしかいないようなプログラマーがたくさんやっぱりいるわけではないので、かつものすごい短い期間で大量のコンテンツやアセットを作らなければいけないので、人がたくさんどうしても並行作業が多くなるとかかってしまう。能力のこの差をある意味高いレベルに合わせるんじゃなくて低いレベルに合わせるというか、言い方が難しいな、平均的なところに合わせるっていうそのマネジメントをすることでリスクをなくすってことをしました。この後ちょっともうちょっと詳しく話します。で、何をしたかというと、とにかく一つのタスク、例えばドラグーンというそのジョブを作るっていう時に、今言ったドラグーンっていうジョブを作るっていうタイトルって1タスクに見えるけど、そうじゃない実際には。何個のドラグーンにはアクションが必要で、そのアクション一つプログラミングするのに、どれだけかかるか。もちろんそのドラグーンの特定のアクションを作るために仕様書も必要だし、仕様書を作った後は実際にその仕様書に例えば2時間かかるなら、それを例えば僕に確認依頼が飛んで僕がチェックするのに例えば15分かかる。そのぐらい一つのタスクに見えるものを徹底的にもう細かく分解。
Can someone explain to me what he meant by averaging the skill level? I'm too stupid. So I do not understand what he just said. Okay, I understand that he was taking to everything was going through. They were sending him they were working on something, sending him between the different team members. Yeah, but how did he average it? Did he mean he was making teams with talented people and then putting less talented people with the talented people? So he wasn't just having teams of purely talented people and rubbish teams. So he's on about distributing people around the team, I think. Yeah, I found that hard to understand. Nakuru, what did he mean? Okay, it's a signing title. Okay, pretty much that.
させるっていう、ちょっとなんだろうな、究極のそのミニマムな管理方法を引いたので、スタッフは結構ストレスだっただろうなとは思います。で、そのさらにシングルタスクに対して最もこのタスクが自分で早く終わると予測される時間、この時間でこのタスクが完了したら自分を褒めてもいい。逆にこのタスクがこの時間以上かかってしまったら給料をもらう資格がないっていうぐらい、その最悪のケース。
That is such a Japanese thing. I would be ashamed to be accepting pay. I could write you an essay about agile project manager. It was my daily bread and butter for quite a while. Well, Lena, I mean, we've already got inside jokes about this, right? Me and Lena already have inside jokes about project management, and me.
っていうそのミニマムで終わる時間とマッ
I
クス
need
か
my
か
own
ってもこれだけだろ
Yoshi P,
うっていう時間を両方申告させて、その平均値で基本的にはスケジュールを管理するっていう、本当に
You need it, I.
ミニマムマイクロマネージメント、マイクロすぎるぐらいのマイクロマネージメントをしてました。それを最初はウィークでみんなそのやり方に慣れてもらうために毎週1週間でそのマネジメントを回して、で1週間経つと結果が出るので、さらにそこに個人パラメータ、例えば吉田はやたらと ミニマムをこう短い時間で申告するけど、結局タスクが終わってみるとマックスに寄りがちだなってなった場合は 50% で見積もるんじゃなくて、もうその係数をかけて、吉田はマックス側に寄るからきっと次の週のスプリントはもうちょっとマックス側に寄るだろうみたいなのをどんどんこうで個人特性までそうやって管理してたので1日の稼働時間は8時間ではありますけど、まあ、トイレに行ったりっていう時間も必要だし、あと必ずミーティング。
Well, that's actually pretty low, right? For some game developers, 8 hours. I've heard, especially during crunch, or they're going to do crunch later, where they're doing 12-hour days.
いや、その会議室でのミーティングじゃなかったとしても、スタッフと
Oh, Yoshi himself doesn't recommend this kind of min-maxing. Yeah, this is a lot, but was this just like they had to do this?
仕様の打ち合わせを絶対にそのデスクトゥデスクでフェイストゥフェイスでやることもあると思うので、1日の稼働は6時間で計算してましたね。その時は全員6時間、8時間では見ない。で大体慣れてきたらそれをまあ2週間スプリントに変えて、あとは毎朝必ずスタンドアップミーティングをして、それぞれのセクションで自分のタスクが今どうなってるのか、誰かのタスクが遅れてるせいで自分のタスクに取り掛かれないとかいうのは毎朝。
Sorry, it reminds me of when I implemented proper timekeeping at my old company. Well, I think this is the whole point of this documentary, right? This is extremely important stuff. People don't really think about. I don't know. For one, managers get a terrible rep. I mean, according to this, they don't crunch at all. Nice. But yeah, a well-oiled machine can outperform any other machine that is rusty, right? Is that a good metaphor? Lady Norexia, good morning. Good morning. We're doing part 2 of No Clip. We're just talking about the benefits of this min-maxing system that he come in. He had to look at every little detail, but he did taper off, right? So he got a big picture of the thing, he's moving things around, and then he tapered off.
スタンドアップミーティングをして、ではこのタスクを入れ替えてこっちを先にやってくれないとこの人が止まってしまう。
We learned in the first documentary that was Square's problem, right? There was no glue
だからスクラムの
between the
スクラム
teams.
っていうそのマネジメント手法のちょっと変形型ですね。ただ最後に言っときますけど、このマイクロマネジメント普通じゃないのでおすすめしないですよ。まあ2年弱で MMORPG を作る。逆に言うとスタッフにも2年かからず終わるから、このマネジメント。
And also, I love how they say that. MMORPG. they still say MMORPG. Like, what is it called in Japanese? They don't crunch. It's not a thing in their culture. They prepare way too much to need crunch. Yeah, Western developers, they do suffer at the end, don't they? Western developers suffer, right? They suffer crunch. They release undeveloped slop by force. I'm not blaming the developers. And then they get sacked because the game doesn't perform well. So, because they've released a half-baked game that they forced them to work 12 hours a day for the past 2 months, when really you could just give your staff an extra 2 years to cook the game. You heard the man, it's called MMORPG.
だから今は我慢してって言ってやってもらったものなので、一般的には絶対お勧めしないです。細かすぎます。
I mean, anyone can come in and say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna,
I love this
rebuild the
guy.
game. Follow me." But he came in with, this huge Excel that had all of these lists of everything on it.
Yeah,
What we're going to do
stakeholders
here,
want
what
their
we're going to do
coins.
here. This is when we're going to do them by, and this is what we're going to do here. And to see that, it's like, okay, this isn't just a stopgap type of thing where a president's like, okay, crazy here, let's just change the leader and hopefully things will, get better. It was an actual, okay, this guy really wants to do this. He has this plan.
Yoshida had them running like a well-oiled machine, so it was time to get to work. First things first, they had to start the rollout of patches for 1.0, but a critical part of the failure of the first game was the poor communications the development team had with their community. So to keep
I don't
diehard
recognise
fans on
any of these
board during
areas.
this protracted period of redevelopment, they had to be a lot more transparent.
What we explain to players very first is
Fox.
it was failure. I mean, failure.
Is that the
so we
silver
need
fox?
to restart the game. But I mean, we at that timing we didn't announce the. I mean, relaunch. Realm Reborn is not announced, but we are going to fix this game. We need more communication. So just list all the changes, plan changes. So some, I mean, upper management people doesn't like this because if you show this to the players, I mean, player knows what we will do. So, I mean, after that, you did this, but you didn't do this, you didn't this. Yeah.
The landscape of 1.0 was significantly changed by the calamity. Yeah, I do know that one of the areas I went to in Heaven's Ward, right, was actually green, and now it's like cold, and they don't know why it's cold. That's so cool. Yeah, this is such a cool docket. This is so cool what they done. It is. I can see why this. Like it's a prop. It isn't just like, well, we're redoing the game engine or we're redoing the game systems. This is like continuing the story and making, I don't know, yeah, it's making it an in-game event. I can't wait to get to that bit when the meteor comes down. That's going to
Everyone
be so
can
cool.
check that. So, I mean, some people
More
doesn't
Dawn is
really
way
like
different
that way,
too.
But I mean, when Yoshida-san and
Oh!
myself.
I've been there. The something and coffin. I've been there, right? I've been to this place, and it's one person at the end. Really, Death Star High. But wait, there's more. By the way, Death Star. So you missed something yesterday, Death Star. You missed something yesterday. I'll get to that. Remind me after this.
Are discussing
Sorry.
how we deal with the community, but what we need to do is to establish the trust.
確かに、まあ、今の14のそのユーザーベースから見れば当時のユーザーベースはまあものすごい小さかったと思う、まあ、今と比較すればただ、まあ、メディアの皆さんからもそのプレイヤーからもそのファイナルファンタジー14はもうダメだ
Oh my god, I bet there was loads of
むしろ
YouTube.
なんであんなダメな
drama
ゲーム遊んでるの君たち
Final
どうかしてる
Fantasy
んじゃないの
14 is
って
done.
言われながらも
It's over.
いやファイナルファンタジーシリーズだから絶対何とかしてくれるはずだ
Bemis, good morning.
いやこれはこれで僕らは楽しんでるからほっといてくれその11だって最初の頃はいろいろあったけどきっと良くなるはずって言って
This is what I'm like with Diablo
数は
4.
も
I
ちろ
was
ん
like this
今
with
と比
Diablo
較したら
4.
すごく小さいそのコミュニティだったかもしれないけど誰よりもスクエアエニックスやファイナルファンタジーのことを
Running a bit late.
応援してくれている人たちだったので
I was
こ
running
の
late
人た
today
ち
too.
を無視するんだと多分この先もうファイナルファンタジーはダメだろうと思ってたのでむしろ何よりも大切にしなきゃいけない部分だったっていうのが最も大きい理由それは何億円使おうが回収できない後でコストだと思うので信頼ってそういうことなのかなっていうふうに会社にもプレゼンテーションしましたし僕もそう思ってたからまあ続けましたけどあともう一つやっぱり大きなポイントは本当にファイナルファンタジー14がリバンプしてその大逆転するためには絶対に彼らの力が必要だっていうことももう一つ重要な
What?
意味を持って
I mean, you would say that was an obvious statement. We need our corporation to be on our side. You'd think that's an obvious statement, but yeah, like we said earlier, it's sometimes it's just they just seem to be like on completely opposite ends of reality reality of how their game's going to do and what the game is running like. It is crazy.
Next, Yoshida split his team in half, some working on the new version of 14 and others working on the updates
And
to
by the way,
1.0.
this will change, right? Surely stuff like this, stuff like Cyberpunk, stuff like No Man's Sky, and how good indie games are being received now. Surely these are the culture's going to change. This should have been one of the first things to change because Corpo isn't the people playing the game. Yeah, but surely they're starting to see now. I mean, look at Ubisoft. Look what's happened to Ubisoft. Ubisoft had to section off some of their games and sell that off to Chinese. I've given up on everything AAA except for very few dev teams. It's a lot of people are. Look at the Dragon Age Veilguard sales. Look at well, Shadows didn't do very well, did it? So many, and then you look at these indie games and they're doing huge numbers. The culture will change. It has to, because like you said, they care. The stakeholders care about money, and if they're not making as much money, especially with the EU now, the EU are doing the regulations for gambling, right? I think they're doing that with the they're doing something with the gambling, which I think is a good thing. Oh my god. I saw you as playing Project Zomboid. I saw that on Discord. I've got that. I haven't played it. But this is relevant, okay? I had someone in my family, okay, that when they were young got in a lot of financial trouble over FIFA Ultimate Team. Okay? These companies target kids with loot boxes. They target these fake releases when the game's rubbish and it doesn't work. The culture has to be changing. They should care about good yeah, exactly. That's what it should be, and it will be. It should steer to that because we vote with our wallets, and things like this have to be an amazing example.
Oh, what he called the guts version of the game. But with so much of the game requiring fixing, where do you even start?
I love how we can all agree. I love how we can all agree that AAA gaming. Wait, what about Ubisoft's quadruple A game? Quadruple A, the pirate game. Oh my god.
インターフェースをとにかくなんて言うんだろうな、最低限
Oh my god.
遊べるように
It was awful.
正直本当申し訳ない話なんですけど、僕最初にやっぱりオリジナルのプロテイン触った時にインターフェースがあまりにもなんだろう、ひどすぎて話にならない。だって PC バージョンしか出てないのにゲームパッドがないとまともに遊べない。聞いたことがない、そんな PC ゲーム。マウスキーボードでまともに遊べないゲームなんか見たことがなかったので、いくらそのコンテンツを作ろうがジョブを作ろうがインターフェースがダメだったらコンテンツの面白さに到達する前に人はゲームをやめてしまうので。
And oh my god, that frame rate. Are they doing a bad frame rate on purpose? Or was it like that?
とにかくインターフェースを直さないとゲームにならないっていうふうに考えたので、一番最初にすごい丁寧に取り掛かったのはやっぱりインターフェースの改修っていうところですね。僕最初にプレイした時5分ぐらいでやめちゃいましたもん。でもね、笑い話でクイットの仕方が分からなくて、ウィンドウの右上にある×ボタンを押そうとしたんですよ。で押したらこのままゲームを終了すると。
Wait, it actually ran like that. The game wasn't divided into many map chunks, so it ran badly. Oh my god.
データがセーブされない可能性があります。それでもよろしいですかってダイアログが出るのね。いやいや、よくないでしょって。いや、僕はエンジニアだからサーバーに常に書き込んでるからそんなわけないじゃんって思ってるんですけど、万が一のことがあるから多分出てるんですよ、そのダイアログ。でも意味がわからない。そうなるともう怖くて押せないですよね。なんだこれでノーって押すとまたゲームにいるわけでしょ。 X 押すとダイアログでしょ。どうやってクイットするんだよこのゲーム。
Yeah, that's weird.
Interface isn't sexy. It's not something you tend to hear a lot about in video games coverage, because really, when it's done correctly, you're not supposed to notice it. So when the early patches for the game concentrated on interface and quality of life updates, much of the community began to get frustrated. The team needed to fix it quickly, so Yoshida employed the help of a Square veteran, one of the developers, on that original 1.0 task force.
Hold on, the menu was also on server side instead of client side, and it was very badly coded for keyboard players, despite most people, yeah, I would have guessed most people on PC.
はい、皆川博と申します。ファイナルファンタジー14ではユーザーインターフェースの、設計デザインとあとアート的なビジュアルの方も担当しています。よろしくお願いします。今47歳なんですけれども、25の時に入社したので、もう22年経ちますね。当時はまだスクエアエニックスがスクエアという会社だったので、 ですね、ファイナルファンタジータクティクスの、アートディレクターを担当していました。なので普段は少ない情報、なるべく少ない情報やシンプルな表示を心がけているんですけれども、今回はカスタマイズ性というか、よりツール的な考え方で、いろんなプレイヤーがそれぞれ自分の好きなカスタマイズができるようにっていうことを普段よりも強く意識してます。まあやはりバトルがテンポのスピーディーなテンポのゲームなので、カーソルフォーカスを十字キーで動かしながら決定するっていう、まあ、そういう操作性ではちょっとゲームにならないだろうというところがあったので、まあ。
Wait, what did he just say? You had to control your mouse cursor with the controller? Or did I misinterpret that? I must have misinterpreted that, right? Right? Guys, right? It's, oh my god, that is bad. You're correct. Wow. For a game that's meant to be on console.
かなり最初の頃にクロスホットバーというアクション
Yeah,
を
I
選
used the
択す
cross
るインターフェースを考えたんですけれども、ただこのインターフェース自体は割と昔から他のゲームで自分自身作ったり使ったりしていたものだったので、絶対それでいけるだろうなという思いはありました。なので実はそこはあまり苦労していなかったりします。まあ例えば表現方法が変わると必ず僕はこっちの方が良かったっていう話は来るんですね。例えばインベントリーは以前はテキストで表示されていたんですけれども、アイコンになると当然なんか似ていてよくわからないとか、なので両方欲しいっていう話は受けて、両方作るのは大変なんだよなっていうそういうところがありました。まあ、今でも ARR のリリースから積み残しの仕事リストみたいなのがあるんですけれども、まあ2年以上経って今入るみたいな機能もたまにあったりします。
でもう一つはバトルシステムをとにかく変更しないとコンテンツが作れない。つまりあまり良くないバトルシステムをベースにして、コンテンツを作ったとしてもコンテンツが面白くならない。だから順番
Kaya, place.
としてはインターフェースを修正しながら
Jokes. This is a joke.
バトルシステムを変更し
It's a
て
joke.
やっとその先にコンテンツを作るっていうのが、まあ、
Oh, I can't believe that's
順
still
番
not
としては
over.
まっとうだと思った。当時のバトルシステムも当時は15人でパーティーが組めてあって、でしかもマジックポイント MP の管理っていうものがほぼなかったので、当時のファイナルファンタジー14の中で最強の回復魔法だったケアルガーっていうスペルをずっと連打してても MP がゼロにならない。延々ケアルガーして OK で、他の魔法いらないよね。じゃあとにかく当時は15人で一つのモンスターを殴りまくって回復しまくってっていうすごい大雑把なゲームだったので、
Well, I don't really
これを
understand
戦
what it
略
means
的な
because I'm
バト
completely
ルシス
new
テム
to.
計算式に変えていかないとコンテンツが面白くならない。
Yeah.
だから
Why don't
UI
you?
を直しない。
Why don't you cast the same spells? Is it? It has the little. It has the combo system, right? Does Black Mage and stuff have the combo system? Or do enemies have resistances and stuff to different elements?
だからバトルシステムを変更して、でそれらの準備をしながら最も重要だと思ってたのはファイナルファンタジーエレメントっていうものをとにかく入れていくことっていうのが次のというか最も大きな課題だっていうふうに思ってました。なぜなら当時ジ
Level one
ョブも
myself.
なかった。ナイトもいない。ブラックメイジもいない。ホワイトメイジもいない。
Oh,
これは
Cloud
ファイナル
Mighty
ファンタジー
High.
なのか。
There is an optimal one for each job.
チョコボに乗れるわけで
There
も
was
な
no,
いし。
you couldn't. Wait, you
イ
couldn't
フリート
ride
は出てきてるけど
chocobos.
戦えないし、一体何なんだこのゲーム。だから僕らがコンテンツとして
Wait, so all of those Final Fantasy, I don't know if anyone's seen my early shorts. All those lovely Final Fantasy nostalgic things in this game weren't in the original 1.0. Like I get so many. There's so many cool references.
入れていかなきゃいけなかったのはやっぱりイフリートやそのガルーダ、いわゆる召喚獣って一般的に呼ばれてるものとのボスバトルを入れていかなきゃいけないと思ったし、
And they are
チョコボ
cool.
に乗れないなんて
Saying they're genuinely
MMO
upset
な
about not being able to ride
話になら
chocolate.
ない
Yeah,
から
that's crazy
チョコボ
that you
ちゃん
can't.
と乗
You
れるよう
couldn't
にしな
wait.
きゃい
You
け
couldn't
ないし、
even. You could not even jump.
何よりジョブがない。
But that's how everyone moves in an MMO. They go like this, right? They just jump everywhere.
もう FF じゃない。少なくとも僕は FF だと思わないので、だったらジョブをちゃんと入れていこうっていうところが、でもそれもやっぱりさっき言ったようにインターフェースとバトルシステムが直ってなければいいものにはならないので、まあだから回収をやりながらきちんと仕様を作ってそれを一つずつクリアしていくっていうのを中盤以降は続けて、そこからやっぱりグッドゲームの評判はやっぱり Q40 も良くなっていて、プレイヤーもずっと増え続けていったので少しずつですけど、あれは僕らもすごい励まされましたね。やっぱりちゃんと面白いものを作っていけばみんなプレイをしてくれるっていうのも数字の上からもよく見えたので、当時の7つ一気にリリースされた7つのジョブ、パッチナンバーは忘れちゃったけど7つのジョブがいっぺんに実装されたんですけど、たった一人のゲームデザイナーが作ったんで。
The team had their sights set on what needed to be changed and how they were going to do it. For the first time in years, they were feeling hopeful, and even better, players were finally starting to respond with positivity. But right as they were settling into this new reality and finding their rhythm, disaster struck.
Oh, real life disaster.
For 6 minutes, Japan shook. A 9.0 earthquake had struck 200 miles northeast of Tokyo.
That country is like in one of the worst places ever, right? For stuff like that. Isn't that why they make their houses like so like wood? They're all made of like flimsy wood, or they used to, just so they could like build them back up again quickly.
And a resulting tsunami devastated coastal regions. What followed was a humanitarian and infrastructural disaster that can be barely comprehended. While the country rallied to help those affected, Tokyo suffered aftershocks and frequent electrical blackouts. I asked Yoshida-san if he'd like to share how this had affected the team.
まあ東京もそうは言ってもすごい揺れたので、やっぱりまあ当日はね、会社に泊まった方が安全だって言って、帰らないでずっとニュースを見てるっていう人たちもいたし、やっぱり東北に家族とかね、親戚とかいるスタッフも当然いたので、まあもう正直言うともう開発どころではなかったのは確かにそうですね。で開発なんか優先すべきじゃないと思うので、やっぱりみんな開発者の前に人なので。
Tsunami is a Japanese word. Japan is super familiar. Yeah. Wood also bends without breaking, so it takes a stronger earthquake to flatten your house. I thought it was some that is insane. I mean, I know some of you Americans will have some. You have your own issues with nature, but oh my god, I'm very blessed. I mean, I don't know the same. I think it's the same in Western Europe, right? I mean, we have flooding sometimes with like a riverbank, but yeah, we are very blessed.
まあ日本中電力が足りなくなっていたので、まあ本当に些細なのかもしれないけど、サーバーを全部落とそう、まあ少しでも協力できることがあればっていうことで、プレイヤーの皆さんにも申し訳ないんですけど、サーバーを一定期間止めますっていう話をして、そんな時期でしたね。
Look at that boat. Oh my god, you see that boat? There's a boat like floating
の稼働を再開してから、プレイヤーの方からまあお手紙をいただいたりしたんですけど、エオルゼアの中で遠くにいる友達の無事が確認できた。エオルゼアがあったから電話も通じない、連絡の手段がなかったところ、 エオルゼアの中にログインしてきてくれたことでその無事だったっていうのが分かった。逆にその周りの人たちの情報っていうのも分かったっていう。
The tsunami that happened earlier in the year had Osaka on Amber Alert when my girlfriend was out visiting family. It was nuts. Oh God. Yeah, I guess they're very used to it though. I guess there's like procedures, right? You would hope, well, you would expect so.
話をいくつかいただいて、まあ電力が足りなければね、当然そのサーバーなんて落とせばいいかなと思うんですけど、そうじゃない限りは続けるっていうことも、そのエオルゼアを維持しておくっていうことも一つのなんかこうサポートなのかなって思った機会でもありましたね、その時は。だから続けてくれてありがとうって言われたんですよ、そのファイナルファンタジー14を。開発で、まあ、あとは最も大きかったのは実はイフリートの次に戦うボスはリヴァイアさんの予定で、リヴァイアさんをかなりの速度で作ってたんですけど、とてもじゃないけどリリースなんかできないっていう話で、だからイフリートの後モーグリが実装されているのはそれが理由ですね。あ、急いでモーグリを作り直したというか企画し直したので。
And some people say games are pointless. Well, yeah, these people are nuts, right? Oh God, oh, okay, I can't tell you that. Remind me after this as well. But yeah, remind me that I had something to say about my mum and the hospital. Yeah, they had procedures where the local temples were prepared for people to travel to high areas if the worst come to worst. Luckily, the Bay took the stint out of it. That's crazy. Yeah, so I can see why they took Leviathan out. So does that mean we wouldn't have ever had the Moogle battle, or was the Moogle battle going to be afterwards? I wonder.
いや、そんなことはなかったですよ。みんなやっぱりそれぞれのその
triggered the nuclear reactor disaster.
まあ会社に来れない
Don't think I know about that.
人たちもまあ何日か会社も休みにしてるんで、ただどっちかっていうとその自分たちにできることをやろうっていうみんな感じだった。
Furious high.
そうじゃあ全員で福島に行って何か僕らが活動することって意味があるのか。あれだけたくさんの人たちが押しかけてる中で、だったら僕らはそのなんだろう、彼らが落ち着いた時にゲームを楽しく遊べるように、僕らは結局ゲーム作るしか脳がないので、まあゲームを作り続けるのが結局何よりなのかもっていう、こういう話はしなかったですけど、みんなそういう感じで。
Video games are important. Anyone that says video games are meaningless. Do these people appreciate art? Do they appreciate movies? Do they think actors and actresses are important people? Do they appreciate Van Gogh and Beethoven music? What's the difference? Why? I think that's changing now, but what I don't understand why this media and this media now is way bigger than Hollywood. Oh my God. It's like literally the biggest. It's bigger than music and Hollywood now. It's the biggest thing in the country, really, in the world, right? I'm pretty sure gaming is the biggest entertainment market in the world. Yeah, so it's ridiculous if people, and this is why supporting real people instead of AI is important. Hey, Nakuru, I do my own thumbnails now. Because of you. Nakuru is a very talented artist.
復帰してきてましたよ、仕事に。
But yeah, no, I totally get that.
Over the coming months, the team would release patch after patch for 1.0. 1.17 introduced 8-player parties and more stable network infrastructure. 1.18 dropped in June 2011 and was a huge patch that made the game much more playable. Level caps lowered for story quests. It added grand companies, class adjustments, instance dungeons, and auto attack. Yes, would you believe this game still didn't have auto attack?
Guys, I have never used auto attack ever. Well, maybe I used it the first stream I done. Is there literally any point using auto attack? If you're doing if you're doing a rotation, what is the point? You did. Yeah, but like now, is there? Yeah, but is there any point me doing it? Oh, you don't notice it. Really? What? So I'm attacking in between. Oh, okay. You probably do it subconsciously.
It featured a more user-friendly map interface and also scrapped
okay.
the controversial fatigue system.
And so we need to take this concept.
Yeah, because it's auto, it means you don't. Yeah, I thought you had to click it, and auto attack was the stab, right? That's what I'm thought. And so I thought, well, I never let the stab happen, right? Paladin relies on auto attack for part of his gauge. Yes. Oh, Silver Rain Cane. Hello, you sound new.
That Yoshi-san has created.
Oh, it's day 9 again. I love this
Make
guy's
it
so
fit
great.
with the current
Wait,
world.
stop, guys! I spit my drink.
Write stories around it. Make the
I didn't mean it that way. I meant the physical thing of stabbing someone automatically. I don't ever see myself do. I don't ever see myself do it.
transition seems seamless, and then in the new world, make it so that there's still some connection with that
Love is
old
a
world
true gift.
that will be understood by those core players, but won't alienate new players.
He-
It won't
he
be
so
something
looks
like,
like
oh,
Day 9.
you didn't play that old, the stuff in 1.0, so you're going to be completely lost. Because we don't want to do that either. We want to get new players to come that didn't play the original one, and we don't want to have them have to play the original to understand this one. And so, trying to work the story that way.
Hold on, God. Chat is roasting me. Watch better. You are still so zoomed in. It's hard to miss. I've been zooming out. You can see the dumb. Oh, have you ever stood back from a target and it says target is out of range? Yes, but I always think that's because I'm bashing one of my strikes. And I'm in the US, so I usually miss the live streams and have to settle for the VODs. Oh, nice. It's nice to see you here. I will be doing fortnightly Saturday streams later on in the afternoon, evening. I will be doing that because I do feel sorry for some of you Yanks.
It was challenging, but it was a lot of fun. We got to try a lot of things. We had a lot of freedom, then especially on the 1.x.
Who's that? I can barely read up there. Zafwin unfollowed me. Thank you so much for the follow.
Stuff because
you look like Kratos. I'll take that. Thank
it
you.
would only be released, seen for a few months. And
I
then
don't
be
look
gone
like
forever.
him.
And so,
below though.
On one hand, that's really exciting because we can do whatever we want. We can create these crazy stories, have these crazy characters, all of these crazy situations.
Oh, see, it's not just me. Yeah, Lena says I look like him. Can you say boy? Boy? I heard Fortnite instead of Fortnightly and thought you was going to start playing Fortnite. Well, that's what we're going to do, right? The new Nakuru in the new stream is Fortnite. He looks like Gordon Freeman by old. He looked like Gordon Freeman by old. Not very Kratos-y. Who's Gordon Freeman? You can't imitate Christopher Judge's voice. Stop, chat.
And go, balls to the
Who's
wall.
Gordon Freeman?
But on the other hand, we're working day
Wait,
and
it's
night
Gordon Freeman from
something-
from Half-Life. Wait, I've got to look this up. Oh my god, is this gonna? It is Half-Life. I thought it was Half-Life. Do I look like Gordon Freeman? Gordon Freeman bald. Oh, he looks like Walter White. Anyway.
that only a few thousand people are going to see and will be gone in 6 months. I really think, I look back at it now, I think we did a lot of our best work during that one point. And it's sad that no one is ever going to see that. Maybe, there's some videos up on YouTube where people can still go back and check them out. But a lot of, some of the best stories, some of the most crazy stuff went on during that 1.x period because it was pretty much no holds barred. Anything can happen. We had like crazy cults and you had like, people from the Garlean Empire. There was
Is that Almeric?
It's like propaganda, giant dragons and machines, and it was just anything goes in a type of situation there, and it was just really a lot of fun.
1.19 signified the 1-year anniversary. Players finally got personal chocobos, and in the distance, one light in the night sky burnt slightly brighter, a sign of things to come.
At the
Oh my
very
God.
first time, it was just some rumor between players. Oh,
I was going to say, what were the forums like? What were the forums like? Right. No one said about what was happening with the meteor. Was it like a... Oh my God. Was it like a massive thing on the forums? Right.
is it getting bigger? No, I don't think
Oh,
so.
I was
This was
promised
also when
cat
Square
girls,
Enix
so let's see
announced that
them.
an entirely new version of the game
on, let me
had been
turn
in
this off.
development since January, and that current players would receive copies of it for free. They also announced that players' character
keep
data
watching.
and
Yeah, that's what I'm
progress
interested in,
would
what-
be transferred
what
to
it was
this new
like
version, what they were then calling
between the
version
players.
2.0. A roadmap for patches was outlined, and it was announced that monthly fees would be reinstated as of January 2012. As an incentive for players to keep playing while the fees were introduced, they announced Legacy Campaign, which rewarded players who paid for at least 3 months of service with permanently reduced monthly fees. Those players would also get an exclusive Chocobo mount, while as a thank you for their support during the redevelopment, their names would be featured in the credits of the new game.
で2011年10月14日にそのレルムリボーンっていう14を全く新しいゲームとして作り直してますっていう発表を同時にすることでどうなるこのままアップデートしていくんじゃないの一体どうなるのこの先楽しかったですよ
1.2 was the final patch of 2011. It saw all the servers renamed, while the moon Dalamud now seemed larger in the sky.
Oh, that's so
1.21
cool.
came in March 2012, introducing a new job system and 2 new dungeons. 1.22 followed in April. Dalamud grew closer, and now some players are beginning to have nightmares. Ominous dreams greet players who log into the game while at an inn. The
Wait,
community all the while trying to figure this out. Is the moon going to destroy the world? Then how will player data be saved in 2.0? They wouldn't have to wait long for answers. That summer, a trailer revealed that 2.0 would be titled A Realm Reborn, and Yoshida-san conducted numerous interviews explaining the future of the game and the features players can expect. On September 12, 2012, the final patch for 1.0 was released. The game updates to 1.23b, and with it comes an enormous Dalamud, its mechanical outer shell now in full view. Players now realizing that this world didn't have long left. On November 1st, 2012, a final in-game battle began. Square Enix made entry free for the final week of the game, while a haunting song can be heard playing on the wind across the entire realm. While the server struggled
What
to deal
song?
with the load, players got together with their friends one last time, as the development team in Japan spammed enemies outside capital cities. One group of players outside of Golda has become legendary, attempting to protect the city with what we now call the Great Gobu Wall.
Right, where is she? Where is she? Oh, it was Answers. Where is she? Where's Red Kaider? Red Kaider was here, or with one of these. This is part of the documentary. If Yoshi didn't stick with his plan, we wouldn't have the game. Right. Answers replies to be precise. Where is Red Kaider? Now all those gobus need to sneeze.
Right before Dalmud hit Elzir, we had to do some chaotic situation to the existing world. So what we decided to do is
I'm not in
to
that clip
spawn
though. You was in
the
one of them
strong
though, right?
enemies at the, near the main cities.
Yeah,
Even when
no,
I popped
no, I know. I don't mean I don't mean they were in that exact wall. I just mean they were doing that thing. When have you ever tried? When Lord of the Rings? Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
the very strong, I mean, Manticore or the mobile or the giant monsters, players kill instantly.
Right.
Yeah, instantly. Yeah, just snap. So, oh Jesus. So you killed my monster again, so what we can do is just keep spawning lots of monsters. And then in very late night, when I was keep spawning the monsters, the one programmer I've never talked to him before, but just coming down to my desk and then just give me the bit of paper.
The Great Goober War was made canon to the lore, and the dead Goober in Eastern Fanaland is one of the lost Goober. Yeah, I did see, and you could get the mount, right? You could get the mount.
With some numbers, which numbers I can understand. This is the number of the certain monster.
Okay.
I can type in, so that I can spawn a very new, stronger monsters. Right. Oh, thank you very much. It's a program. So that was a very fun moment.
You were like playing God.
At first, I felt like God. Hey, players, can you beat my monsters? But
oh my God, there's loads
I
of them.
was very weak God.
They were God.
Yeah, they were God.
So it was then, on Sunday, November 11th, 2012, just over a year after Final Fantasy XIV was originally launched, with Dalamud hanging in the sky, that the servers were finally turned off. And as they did, a trailer dropped, showing players what was to become of their old home.
And we didn't get to see the continuation of that until Coils, right?
Well, I mean, it's not a lot of people liked, and everyone wanted to forget about it. So rather than, just taking that and doing it over, and just reimagining it, why not destroy that and start over? If we leave too much of that original core there, then it will just linger on as that kind of cancer that, will always bring us back to that failure. Why not just clean the slate? But on the other hand, and this is where, things kind of got...
Final Fantasy Realm Reborn intro movie is a bit, but yes, but Bahamut. Yeah, well, Itsuru was one of the people that took me through the Coils. You saw the continuation from the Warrior of Light side.
Complicated is that, no matter how bad the reviews were and how many people bought the game but then left the game, there was still this core of players in both Japan and Europe, North America, that were passionate about the game. In the state that it was, they were passionate about the game. They were passionate about the series and their characters that they had created and were now living in this MMO. And so, it would have been easy to just say, okay, bye guys, But if you do that, then you've basically alienated the only group that stuck with you, for all of those years, when everyone else is slamming the game and talking about how bad it is. I mean, those guys were troopers. They would go on the forums. They were defending, the development team when a lot of times we didn't deserve defending. So that idea to wipe the slate clean, but not make it something completely new, make it something that was connected in some way to that, to the old game. The decision made by Yoshida-san to, okay, let's bring down Dalamud, destroy the planet, destroy the realm, but then bring it back. Figuring out a way to make that happen within the current story. Make it feel natural. Make it feel like that was always the plan. Was the biggest challenge, I think.
Well, I was just about to say...
The team at Square Enix had worked themselves to the bone, not only recreating Final Fantasy XIV in A Realm Reborn, but also by dedicating time and money to ensuring that 1.0 players felt part of that story. The moon, Dalamud, had crashed into the world of Eorzea. That world was gone forever. And only one question remained. What was going to rise out of its ashes?
Well, so that was part 2. Very interesting. Very interesting. I wish I was there to have been on the, like, I'm just trying to imagine being on those forums discussing what it meant. But there's a part 3, right? I thought there was a part 3 for this. My wife still has her 1.0 character with the tattoo on her neck. That's so cool. I'll be posting more screenshots of the Mount biographies. Yeah, I want to see the old posts. Oh. Selza followed me. Thank you so much for the follow. What music is this? Oh my god, I thought that was my computer doing something weird then. Right. I want to see old... there's someone that played... There's documentaries on point. Pixie's gone. Yeah, she's not there. Let me get rid of that. Right. I need to see... I want to see old posts. I want to see old forum posts with people speculating what's happening. That's what I want to see. I'm not going to look at that now, but I think that would be so interesting. People like to speculate, right? I love speculation. Game of Thrones, I loved speculation. Oh, that is actual in-game music. I had no idea what that was. It's interpretive music. It turns our feelings about the world into sounds. Majority of posts from that era were deleted. Oh, really? All my pictures from back then is gone. Oh, you did say that. Man, what a shame. That would have been so cool. I just could imagine speculating what is this thing in the sky. Oh, guys, maybe they're going to remake the game, and someone's saying, no, why would they? No, of course not. What are you on about? It's probably the next expansion. I'm sure someone said that, right? Someone must have said that.